Welcome to our exploration of Romans 12, 17, 19. As we delve into these verses, let's set the context. The book of Romans is a letter from Paul, one of Jesus' closest followers, to the early Christian community in Rome. Paul writes about various aspects of living as a follower of Christ, including how to interact with others. In chapter 12, he discusses how we should live our lives in light of God's love and mercy, even when faced with difficult circumstances. In verses 17-19, Paul emphasizes the importance of not taking revenge or seeking to harm others, but rather trusting in God's justice. He encourages believers to focus on loving their enemies and doing good to those who wrong them. This passage is a call to action for us today. How can we practically apply these verses in our daily lives? How might we respond when faced with conflict or opposition? We'll be breaking down Romans 12, 17, 19 over the next few sections, exploring what it means and how we can live out this passage in a way that honors God. Biblical context in key passages that command to not be afraid is scattered throughout Scripture, but it's particularly prominent in the Old Testament. In Isaiah 44:10, God reassures his people that he will strengthen and help them, declaring, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." This passage is just one example of how the Lord encourages his followers to trust in him rather than fear the unknown. Similarly, in Deuteronomy 31:6, Moses says to the Israelites, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you." This promise is echoed in many other passages, emphasizing that we should not let fear dictate our actions. The New Testament also highlights the importance of trusting in God's sovereignty and providence. In Matthew 10:26-31, Jesus reminds his disciples that they are more valuable than many sparrows, and even the hairs on your head have all been counted. This assurance frees us from fear and encourages us to serve him without hesitation. These passages from Romans 12, 17, 19 are not standalone commands, but rather building blocks upon which we can rely for encouragement. Paul's instructions in these verses are rooted in the broader biblical narrative of trusting in God's goodness and sovereignty. Meaning in key themes, Romans 12, 17, 19 offers a profound message about living out our faith in the midst of challenging situations. The key phrase, "Do not repay anyone evil for evil," Romans 12, 17, encourages believers to resist the temptation to retaliate or seek revenge when wronged. This passage is rooted in Paul's earlier statement, "Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God. For it is written," conclusion in Romans 12, 17, 19. Paul reminds us that our actions should be guided by trust in God's justice and sovereignty. When faced with conflict or opposition, we are called to love our enemies and do good to those who wrong us. This passage is not just a theoretical concept, but a practical application of living out our faith in daily life. It requires us to reorient our focus from seeking revenge to trusting in God's goodness and provision. As we strive to embody this passage, we are reminded that we are part of a larger story, one where God is at work, guiding and upholding us, Isaiah 41:10. By trusting in him, we can respond to challenging situations with hope and courage rather than fear or anger.